Hi everybody, Markus here. I'm going to do this live in English because I want to reach uh, the most of the people I can, and so I won't do it in German but in English because this is a very important thing I'd like to talk with you about, and this is very important for me and for me personally, because it's about mindset of a drummer, mindset of drumming, the art of workout, practicing, and the way to do it in the right way. Because the reason why I want to tell you is that I'm struggling very much now because I crashed my school. I had to get a real job again, and so for everybody to know, I had to clear bankruptcy, and I'm trying to get back on my feet again. And I've worked very much with my mind, with my mindset, and I found out a few things which are very interesting I didn't know before. And here's a story I would like to tell you, because I always hear people can't achieve their goals because it doesn't make sense to them. They are afraid that they don't get a band, they don't get good enough to play, they don't get gigs, and blah blah blah. A lot of excuses, which finally leads to one point. The way the thinking is that they are just afraid not to make it. And this is the first and in my opinion the most meaningful excuse to do not things. Being afraid of the possibility not to achieve your goal. And there is a little story I would like to tell you about a guy from the 1950s. He was a runner, and until the 1950s it was for sure that it is impossible to run 1 mile under 4 minutes. And there was one guy who said, okay, I don't believe this, and I will prove all of them wrong. His name was Bannister, and he trained for an event where he really got out to the people and told everybody that he will do this mile under 4 minutes in a run. And almost everybody was laughing about him because they said, no, it's impossible, it's never been done before, and so you're the next one to fail. Long story short, he didn't fail. He trained very hard for about 6 months, and after the announcement, and when this event happened, it was rainy, it was bad weather, and he started the run, which was watched by media, newspapers were there, and everybody was just waiting to make their story about him failing. But he didn't. He made the mile in 3 minutes, 59 seconds and some hundreds. Very barely did it, but he did it. And this is not the interesting thing, because a lot of people go out, tell things, no one believes them, and finally they make it. But what is really interesting is the thing that happens a few weeks later. After he has done the mile under 4 minutes, I guess about 6 or 8 weeks later, there were about 100 other people who made it, which were surely that they couldn't make it before, but something has changed. One guy went out there and did it. So the others know, okay, there's this one guy who made it possible, I will make it too. After 6 or 8 weeks, there were about 100 people who made the mile under 4 minutes. About half a year later, there were a few thousand people who made it under 4 minutes. And a few years later, the mile to run under 4 minutes isn't a real goal anymore because of this guy who did it. And the same way is on playing drums. I've heard a lot and talked a lot of to a lot of people which said, I'm not sure if I can make it, and I don't have time to practice. It's too loud, it's too expensive, it's too blah blah blah. It's all excuses. When you really committed to do a thing, you can achieve it, and you will not be the first one who gets on stage on a drum set with a band and play a gig, because hundreds of thousands or millions of people have done it before. So you know it can be made. So this is not the excuse. The thing that you have to know is the proper way to get on stage, to build yourself, to build self-confidence, and to work out in a proper way, and also to have a plan how to work it out. Because there are a few major steps you have to do, and everything else will follow by its own. You have to know some people, you have to show yourself in public and say, hey guys, I'm a drummer, I'm searching for a band, I want to gig, who's interested, who wants me? And if this happens and you do it the right way, it will be this way. So it's always possible to achieve this goal, and so you can make it. The first thing to do is make yourself a vision of yourself. How do you look when you sit on a drum set on stage? How will it be? How will be the feeling of being on stage, playing in front of 1,000 people or even more, with a great band and playing great music? And the other thing to do is, what do I have to do to get there? And that's not very much. You have to buy, or you have to have a drum set, you have to know some basic stuff to play, and you should have some band members. First thing, buy a drum set. You don't have to buy the best one, you don't have to buy a new one, you just have to have a drum set. On bigger locations, there will be a drum set on stage. You just walk up there, put your double bass machine on there, your snare drum and your cymbals, and you can go off. The mics will be there. If you play a small location, this problem also does not occur, because you put your drum set there. You don't need a microphone or something else. You just can play in a proper location. And the next thing to do is find a way to get good on drums. And there are just a few basic steps. One of them is the live video I made a few days ago, with the 4 different motions on drums, with the full stroke, downstroke, upstroke and taps. And if you improve your techniques and your ability to keep time, to play some fills and to play with other guys together, there will nothing stop you. There's a proper way to get on stage, and if you paint the way on stage in your mind, you have to follow your steps I told you before, and this will work, because hundreds of thousands of people have done it, and there won't be any problem to achieve this goal. Don't let excuses stop you, and most important thing, don't let your environment stop you. There will always be naysayers, there will always be people who say, oh no, you can't do it, there are much better people out there. Don't forget, there will always be one or hundreds or thousands of people who are better than you, but who cares? Because when you are on stage, it's you who plays the gig and not them. So just put them out of your life, because the naysayers are the people who will distract you from your goals, not to harm you, but to excuse themselves, because they have very low self-esteem, very unfinished mindset on their own, and a very low view of themselves, how they feel, because they think they cannot achieve it, and so no one else can do it as well. Just like in this environment, you are just like in a bowl of Mexican crabs. I don't know if you know these animals, but if you put some Mexican crabs together in a bowl, they will sit on the ground and will wait to what happens. And if one of these Mexican crabs gets out of the bowl, the other ones won't support her. They pull her down again because they want this one on the same level as they are. So these are the naysayers. You have to put them out of your life because they will really fuck you up. Sorry for this word, but that's the way it is. Next thing is find a teacher, find someone who can help you. Surround yourself with good people, with positive people. Ask them questions and talk to them. Just ask things about how they made their way, what they did, if they can help you, if they know someone who would like to have a live band or whatever. So there's always a way to gig, there's always a way to find a band, and last but not least, there's always a way to find a good teacher who leads you to the stage, to a recording studio, to a record deal, to world domination, whatever you want. That's not the problem, because it has been done and you can do it also. Believe in yourself, believe in your dreams and paint them out in your mind, and then you can achieve it. Because if you think about this, everyone has a fixed, more or less a fixed mindset about how things have to be. But if you follow this, the things will be the way you think they will be. But if you change this way of thinking and you change your goals and you change the way you can reach your goals, your way will change and you will achieve your higher goals. Because there's a saying, it's better to aim high and miss than to aim low and hit, which means set your goals that high that even if you miss, this miss is much higher than achieved goals of other people, which go in a very low way with less self-esteem and with very less effort to work. The things to do is you have to work hard, you have to work harder. And there's another saying, work smart, not hard. But I think it's a very good way to find out how to work smart. And then with this smart working, you have to work hard and smart. So you will achieve your goals much sooner, much faster, and at least with less effort than everybody else. And the next thing to do is make a plan how you get there and when you will achieve these goals. And on this way, you will have to do some adjustments, but it doesn't matter as long as you're going. There's a saying in, I think it's the Navy SEALs or the Marines or something, if you cannot run, you have to walk. If you cannot walk, you have to crawl. As long as you're moving on, you're on the right way. Last thing to say about this life is, it's a little bit short, I know, but the most important things are said now. If you need help, just reach out for somebody who can help you. Reach out to me, ask me questions, send me messages, whatever. I'm very pleased to help others. And most important message from me to you is, believe in yourself, don't give up on your dreams, and just stay on the road and keep moving. No matter how slow you go, as long as you move, you're coming forward. Don't forget this. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.